It's our plan to have our athletic program comparable to USC, to Notre Dame, to Alabama, to anybody.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whenever you are tuning in. Hopefully you're tuning in live, and if you are, regardless of when you're tuning in, thank you, and welcome to the Sea of Red Football Podcast, sponsored by Jason Porter Real Estate. I'm Richie Longshots. I'm joined with a safe CT, and the man who is all things Sea of Red, Mr. John Manson. Well,
I tried to tell CT to wait till he got home, but he is dedicated, as our guy JC is telling us here in the chat. Dedicated CT. I said just wait till you get home, but no, he's putting in the work, helping the team try to get over the hump and into the win column.
Yeah, I was just too excited. I couldn't miss a portion of it. So.
Yeah, so here we are. To be honest, I didn't think we were having a podcast this week because there was the bye week, but I guess there was a football game that was played on Saturday, and we are committed to win or lose doing this show. There are other people out there, other places that maybe stop covering a team when they stop winning. That's not us. Win or lose, because at the end of the day, we root for liberty. We support liberty. Win or lose. But yes, went to Old Dominion in the rain, and we didn't win again.
Yeah, it was disappointing game, and the weather was kind of weird. Like I got to the stadium, tried to get there before the team does, so I got there about 2 hours and 20 minutes before the game. I had to walk a good part from one side of campus to the other side of campus, but it wasn't raining. It was kind of, it was overcast all day down in Norfolk, but got inside the press box, made my way up to my seat, and the team had gathered on the field to pray like they do each week. And it might have been drizzling, but then within 15, 20 minutes, the skies just opened and completely changed the whole dynamics going into that game. And it was just, water standing on the field and everything. So it was quite an insane, hour or two. And fortunately I got inside under the cover, under the shelter for the game before the downpour came. And, we'll get into it more later, but it was just another disappointing game. And, now we have lost 4 straight, and, we do have a bye week, but it's kind of a weird bye week because, it's like, 10 or 11 days off as we shift into this midweek schedule and take on UTEP next Wednesday night. So we won't have a show next Tuesday, but we'll be back between the UTEP and Mexico State game.
Yeah, definitely we'll talk about the Old Dominion game. A couple flashes, not enough to win a football game, but yeah. We are approaching October, midweek on the mountain, Conference USA, a chance to turn the season around. No, it's not orange, it's red. Sorry about the lighting. John.
It's red.
It's red. Next thing, people, I'm wearing Clemson colors, whatever. I almost wore a Rutgers hat, but they lost. Yeah, it's cliche. It's a new season. Conference time. Could turn it around, could not turn it around. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say I think one thing could happen because I don't know what's going to happen. But I do know one thing that's going to happen, and that is we're going to get a chance to hear from Jason Porter, Eli August, correct?
Look at you.
You know what? Someone's got to pay attention around here. So, but before we do any of that, we're going to get the opportunity to hear from the always amazing, fine people of Leesburg, Florida.
It's real Florida. It's old Florida, and it's close to all of the Central Florida attractions, crystal clear natural springs, and one of the largest chain of lakes. The beautiful lakefront city of Leesburg offers the best in outdoor adventures, fishing, and quaint shops and restaurants on historic downtown Main Street. Come visit and see how welcoming a hometown city feels. Experience Leesburg the way Florida is meant to be.
JP, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good. No confusion on these colors. This is blue.
You got on the blue. We're all sporting the Liberty gear each and every
we're
week.
red, white, and blue here with us.
Red, white, blue with Eli. Yeah, we're looking good. Eli, make sure I'm muted. It looks like you're muted, but Eli, how you doing? Tough loss on Saturday in the rain, but how things been going the last few days for you?
It has been tough. But we recoup, man. We're getting back together. We're trying to figure out ways of whether it's going back to the basics or whether it's honing in on certain things. But we're trying to keep positive attitude. We're feeling good right now. We got a little bye week. It's like a kind of 10 days. So people who kind of nicked up, bruised up from the past game could heal up a little bit. We might get Vasco back too. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, looking forward to the game again this week. We lost Jason Porter for a minute, but I'm sure he'll be back. Eli, take us back to that game Saturday. I'm sure you heard me talking about just the rain and things pre-game. I'm sure you guys were kind of expecting and planning for rain. But have you ever played in a game that was, a torrential downpour like it was on Saturday down in Norfolk?
I have. I'm from Boston. I'm from Massachusetts, so it rains a lot over there. It snows a lot over there, so I'm kind of used to those games a little bit. But yeah, we heard about the forecast. We thought it was actually gonna be lightning, and we were expecting a delay. But good thing God got us right. We're good, just straight rain, but. We were kind of like ready for the weather because it kind of was raining a little bit that week in Lynchburg too, leading up to. So.
Sorry, I had a little technical difficulties. Am I back?
We got you back, Jason.
All right, awesome. Hey, Eli, we were having a little bit of a debate here that I want you to settle. I was coming at it, obviously, from a very civilian perspective here, but I said that in weather like that, there was a straight deluge for a while in that ball game. I think that it's more difficult for defensive players than it is offensive players when it's raining like that because you guys are the ones that have to react. Is that right or wrong? And even if I am wrong, don't tell me I'm right.
A little bit, but it's kind of even debate because offense, it's hard to take care of the ball in conditions like that. Like you don't really prepare and practice in the rain. So for a lot of the offensive guys, I know it's definitely tough for them too. But you're definitely right. The slip in, especially not the home turf, so we're not really too used to it. But it definitely kind of messes us up a little bit.
Yeah, and talking about the game a little bit more detail, defense played pretty strong, especially in the red zone. This is an ODU team that was tops in the country entering the week, a perfect 10 for 10 in the red zone, and all 10 of those were touchdowns. The only team in the country at that time that were perfect on the red zone drives. But Saturday night they were 0 for 5. Eli, you and the defense forced 3 turnovers down inside the 10-yard line, and then they missed a field goal, and then we're kneeling it there at the end. But, how much of an emphasis do you guys place every week on, trying to punch the ball out and take advantage of, hopefully take advantage of some miscues and the other team putting the ball on the ground?
Yeah, we focused on that a lot the past week, especially because during the JMU game, we weren't too sure if we felt like we played up to par during like the sudden change moments. It was kind of certain moments where we felt like we got put on the field and we were just like kind of shocked we were back on the field so quick. So this game we were really honing in on, okay, sudden change, focus up, get the ball back no matter where we're at on the field, no matter what the condition is. So we were definitely focusing on that all week. And of course the turnovers, we were definitely ready on Tuesday, Wednesday, working on punch outs, working on catching interceptions, and both of those ended up coming for us.
Eli, John kind of stole some of my thunder, but that's one of the things that Alan and I were really harping on during the broadcast. I don't know if people understood the gravity of keeping ODU 0 for 5 in the red zone. There's a reason that that's a statistic. And there was a couple times, too. I mean, it was that not even a bend, don't break. It was they just didn't score. So have you guys been able to kind of, to piggyback on what John said, kind of celebrate that a little bit and really look at that and just go, man, we were balling in the red zone and did a pretty good job on that, and hope to continue that on here in the conference play?
Yeah, most definitely. We were we kind of looked back at the film, and we were kind of like, dang, like we see, like, we were good the first drive. You know, we got the big turnover with the big hit with Eldrick and Seabod, and then after that, BG had ended up going down and he got hurt. So we were definitely like backed up for real. And we all just came together. We were good with it. We executed very well. We still felt like out of the red zone, we could have like kept ourselves out of the red zone a couple times just from executing certain plays. But we definitely like that win, and we're definitely trying to carry that on.
Visiting here with Liberty Safety, Eli August, and this portion of the podcast every week is brought to you by RT Rogers, Liberty alum and big Liberty fans. Eli, tell us a little bit more about RT Rogers.
Yes, sir. For over 50 years, our family-owned and operated oil company has been powering homes, farms, and businesses in our community. Whether you need residential or commercial propane and heating oil, generators, or expert service, we've got you covered. We also offer top-quality commercial and agricultural fuels, tanks, lubricants, and equipment, plus wholesale opportunities that help your business grow. Trust the experience and dedication that only a family business can deliver. Call us today and experience the difference.
Eli, you mentioned Brylan there. Brylan Green, a team leader and captain, and one of the top players on the defense and the defensive secondary. And you mentioned going down to injury there, and it was really kind of a scary situation, scary moment, I'm sure, for you guys as well. What's it like, when you're kind of going through that in the moment, and then how's Brylan's spirits been these past few days?
Yeah, it was definitely scary because I was on the field with him, and I was just trying to tell him, like, you're good, man, like, stay down. But I know he's a tough kid. Like, we like him. We know he's tough, so we know he's going to be back soon. His spirits are high, though. He came back in on Sunday. We were just laughing during meetings. Like, spirits are up. He's definitely keeping his hopes up. He's definitely already in the training room getting rehab treatment. So he'll be back with us soon.
Eli, when you guys do have an injury like that, obviously that's my background, sports medicine, athletic training back in the day. But take us behind the curtain real quick as a team. Does something like that, especially when it's a team leader like Brylan Green, or like we saw Tariq Hill go down last night for the Dolphins, does something like that really galvanize you guys? Do you kind of sort of pick yourself up and go, man, let's get this one done for BG, and just kind of refocus a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It was kind of like enough said at that time. Like, we were all just like in that mode, kind of like, all right, they kind of just hurt one of our brothers. We just broke it down. We kind of already knew what it was just going into that red zone drive. So it was a big stop also. So it kind of gave us some confidence, like, all right, we're good. Let's keep it rolling and continue to pick it up from.
Well, hey, Eli, I appreciate you joining us once again this week, and we'll talk to you again in a couple weeks. But enjoy your few extra days off. Hopefully, you guys got a couple extra days to rest, recoup, and get it out there in El Paso. Get another win.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Eli.
It's always good to catch up with Eli and Jacob as well too. Going through a tough spot right now, but they're fighting through, and I know they want to get back in the win column, more than we do, right? So good to talk to him. JP, you texted me a little bit before the show, and you were asking me about or telling me that you had a big scoop, not Liberty football related, but a real estate scoop. What you got for me?
Yeah, come here. Listen, John, I've been excited to tell you about this all day long. This is one of my major cheat codes in life, and we're celebrating it because tomorrow's October 1st. Here's the deal. October to February is a fantastic buy window in real estate. It just naturally always has been, because if you think about it from the seller side, sellers are not wanting to necessarily go on the market that time of year. We're already starting to think holidays, New Year's, etc. And so a lot of times you can really pick up some deals in the October to February window. So I wanted to kind of come on and say that. I've seen it proven year after year after year. You couple that, though, right now, current trends with rates coming down a little bit. We've got another couple of ticks maybe potentially coming down. We've got days on inventory coming up. In other words, there's more inventory. They're staying on the market a little bit longer. So you've almost got a trifecta here to just remind folks that this really is a good time to be buying. I'm just going to take one snippet here real quick, too. If you're in Lynchburg, you know that there's a few townhouses on the market right now. There's 80 townhouses on the market right now, to just put some context with that. So price ranges all across the board. But my point is, October to February is a great window here. Love to answer some questions or be a counsel however I can to Flames Nation. Contact information is there on the screen.
Well, you heard the man. If you've been sitting on the sidelines in the real estate game and trying to figure out when to get in, now's the time. Be sure to reach out to our guy, Jason Porter. He'll take care of you. Jason Porter Real Estate at gmail.com. Thanks, JP.
Thanks, John.
Well, hey, everybody. My name is Jason Porter. I'm with Legacy Realty and Development, and it's been a great partnership here with Sea of Red lately. I was with Liberty Athletics as the Associate Athletic Director for Sports Medicine, so took care of all of the healthcare needs and coordinated that with a fantastic staff at Liberty in the athletic department, of course, for about 5 or 6 years, and then moved into real estate full-time and with Legacy Realty and Development. And it's just been a great pleasure to continue to stay connected with my Liberty University family and the athletics family as well. Been enjoying serving them. A lot of the graduate assistants and some of the staff that I hired has come back now and has been using me for residential services, which I really appreciate. But certainly do residential real estate as far as buying and selling of homes, of course. And then also we have a strong commercial presence as well. So commercial real estate, obviously a very, very different animal than is residential. But whether it's buying and selling commercial properties or just the leasing of properties, we can help with that as well. So it's been a great opportunity to service our commercial clients as well. And then certainly on the investment front too, a number of folks who have discovered the power of passive income through real estate and investing in real estate with rental properties or fix and flips, those kind of things. And so great joy to serve my clients in that capacity as well. The other thing that I would add too is just a very, very full Rolodex at this point of contractors and subs and just different professional contacts that I've made through the years. So if I can ever provide any of those folks to you and all of a sudden you need a plumber or an electrician or a contractor to build your deck, whatever, I'd certainly be glad to give you access to that Rolodex and those references as well. Because a lot of times it's not exactly who you know, it's who you know that knows how to do the job well. And so I would be glad to provide those services for you as well. So love Flames Nation, love taking care of my Liberty family. And if there's ever anything I can do for you, my contact information is all right here on the screen. And I would love to be a service to you and yours. Thanks so much.
CT, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
Safe and sound.
Yeah, safe and sound. We're good.
John, always great to hear some of the insight, what's going on, a little bit about the game, a look inside the locker room, and coming off of our most recent loss, it's something people have been talking about online. So, Old Dominion, weird game, weather, final score 21-7, Old Dominion. We alluded to earlier, the weather probably played a big factor in it. Liberty only attempted 12 passes, was it?
Yeah,
so
I think you're
something that it's tough to throw the ball in the rain. It's tough to throw the ball in the rain when you're not the starting quarterback. So no excuses. Next man up, but just a kind of a flat, I'm going to call it a boring football game.
Yeah, I mean,
a couple exciting plays. I'll say that. A couple exciting plays.
Yeah, more of the on defense and then on offense for ODU some, but not a ton of excitement for Liberty on offense. It was interesting. Coach Chadwell, Liberty won the coin toss, and Coach Chadwell elected to receive the opening toss, which I don't know if he's ever done that. I don't think he has in his time at Liberty. So I thought it was a tactic he was trying to use to jumpstart some momentum. We've talked a lot about the slow starts for the team, And it seemed like it worked, at least originally. I mean, Juju Gray had that huge return on the opening kickoff and got out across midfield. We picked up a first down or two and got down inside the 30 and, looked like we were, moving the ball pretty good and might get some points on the board, and had a 3rd and long and Merdinger, misfired. If we're just being honest, he misfired. I think it was intended for Reese Smith, if I recall correctly. And then we had the field goal attempt. I think it was 42 or so yards. In the weather, that's obviously a factor, but we missed it. And it's hard to, say much else other than we just missed the kick, because that's what we've been doing, except for the prior week against JMU. We had some success kicking, but, that happens. And then, ODU goes down, and fortunately the defense holds in the red zone. But like Coach Chadwell said afterwards, it's just same story, different song, right? I mean, same story, different game. We continue to have these opportunities to have some success, to gain some positive momentum within the game, and we just continually shoot ourselves in the foot. Actually, I heard a quote today. I don't know if anybody watched the Monday Night Football games, but it was the Jets and the Dolphins. Did y'all hear the call? He said something, I was like, that kind of is a graphic statement, but I wouldn't say it. But it kind of feels like that's what Liberty does. Like, the other team keeps shooting themselves in the foot, which ODU did. I mean, 0 for 5 in the red zone. But then, we can't get out of our own way and shoot ourselves in the head, is what Breece Hall said. So I don't think I would say that, but that's what he said, and kind of seems to fit. So just a disappointing game, really was.
Yeah. Could have been worse, I guess. That's where we're at. But yeah, CT?
I don't have a ton much more to add, honestly. And it's bad when all three of us are kind of don't have a ton to say. That was the quietest I feel like I've heard John in a while. And I mean, he still got out a few paragraphs there. So no, it's frustrating for sure. I mean, I will say, like, hey, props to the defense, as John mentioned, as we talked about with Eli. Like, I mean, they showed up. They got those turnovers. Like, they've done that for the past 2 games and stuff, and they've kept us in games for a while at least. So, shout out to them, because, I mean, I know at a certain point, like, this is just my guess, like, in terms of mentality, like, at a certain point, it'd be tough to keep having to go out there drive after drive when it's like, hey, our offense isn't really producing that much, and, like, giving it their all. But it seems like, they're having that fight still, which is great. And after losing like a guy like Brylan, like one of the leaders, like, and they still showed up and kept on fighting. And you take like ODU, like the week before against Virginia Tech, they had like 40 something points or something like that. So like, and we held them to 21 at home. And of course, take the weather into account, but still, like, it wasn't a bad defensive performance. So, it's just the offense at the end of the day. And I mean, there's so many things to talk. I mean, there's so many different ways that we could talk about it, but I mean, it's disappointing for sure. I know this coaching staff has a great offense to run. We've seen it with Liberty. We've seen it elsewhere and stuff. So just having that specifically be the letdown is just like a little extra frustrating or disappointing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, the final score 21-7, it shouldn't have been that close. Like
35.
That was a 35-42-7 game, and in the offense, we had some success, if you want to call it success, on the first 2 drives. I mentioned the first one, and then the second one, we again got down inside the 40-yard line and had a couple penalties and ended up having to punt. But after that, I think we went the next 6 offensive drives, we had -8 yards of offense. I mean, like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I mean, and who do you put the blame on? Like, there's so much blame that can be passed around. I mean, some of it has to go to the coaching staff. I mean, you have to. I was a little disappointed in some of the plays that were called. I feel like we didn't – how many shots did we take downfield? We had the one to Dante Lee that set up our only touchdown. But
which was 75% of our passing yards in the game.
Yeah, 53 yards on one play, and I think we threw for 77, 78, whatever. It was less than 80. And we didn't. I didn't. You have. I understand you're on basically your third and fourth string quarterbacks, but you have to take shots down the field just to kind of keep the defense honest. Even if you're overthrowing a receiver by 10 yards, you just have to do it. But at the same time, part of me is like, well, maybe we had a few of those plays called, but there's no time for Merdinger to drop back and to even let a receiver get down the field 20 yards. Like, I hate to put all the blame on the coaching staff and the play calling. I think there's some should go there. I hate to put all the blame on the offensive line. I hate to put all the blame on the quarter. I mean, there's enough to go around to everybody. It's just, when you have 6 straight drives, like it's one thing to go 3 and out here and there, or 2 or 3 drives where you're just not moving the ball, but 6 drives, like that's most of the game. And I don't know how the defense stayed engaged and were able to keep fighting, like you were talking about, CT, and enforcing those turnovers. And, it just one of those turnovers, if we don't get it, then, the game flips the other way. But the defense did what they needed to do to give us a chance in the second half. And we did have a chance. Like we had the ball in the fourth quarter down by 1 score into ODU territory. And that's where that 4th and 2 call came up. And it's just frustrating. It's disheartening, 4 straight losses. Like, how did we get here?
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, Richie's locked in on the Yankees game, so we can.
That's mute point. Aaron Boone's still the coach.
Heard. The 4th down call specifically, like that one frustrated me. Just specifically, I felt like, it seemed like at that point in the game we were rolling with Merdinger at quarterback, and so then it seemed like we brought in Hauk for that play, and at least to me watching from the TV is like, oh well, it's obvious what we're going to do here now.
Everybody knew.
And so and I know we've dealt with those problems with other coaching staffs with multiple quarterbacks. We saw JMU go through some of those struggles to start their season this year, the 2 quarterbacks and stuff. But just on that play in that situation when it seemed like you were rolling with the 1 quarterback, it just felt like very scripted, or however else you want to put it, that play call. And it just felt like there wasn't going to be much room for success.
Yeah, and if you bring in the kid that's known for running, maybe throw the ball, mix it up. But to be honest, full disclosure, I didn't watch the second half. I was out at a birthday dinner with friends and family, and I just was running out of battery. And then, Caden Williams looked good.
So my hip hop of the 2020s is not great, but during that long timeout, hold on, I'm getting to it. It'll make sense.
It's going to be good.
During that long timeout or review of what would have been their 3rd touchdown to make it 21-0, where Colton Joseph, their quarterback, was reaching for the over the end zone, and was ruled a fumble, and they upheld it. But it was like an 8-minute timeout. I thought that call was going to get overturned. It was going to be 21-0 with like no time left in the first half. And then, they were going to get the ball to start the second half, and our offense was inept at that point in time. I thought the game was on the verge of a blowout. Well, ODU played some song, and I had to Google it to even see what it was called. But the song was something about go ahead and turn the TV off. And I was like, yeah, that kind of is how Liberty fans feel right now, and certainly how Richie felt.
Do we have a name for that song?
I looked it up on Saturday night. I think it was turn the TV off or turn it off or something like that.
Would it be, I'm going to assume it was TV Off by Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, that was it.
That was something that would not be played at a Liberty game, no matter.
It was TV Off.
They asked for it.
That was it.
Probably not. I'm a Kendrick guy, but that's neither nor there. Yeah, I don't know. It was 4 straight losses. There's not much. I don't know what we could say.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going crazy. We all watched the game.
Our win total, for the season was 8.5. We've talked about that a couple times, and that's already gone. So not even a month from our first game, it's already off the table.
CT, you and I talked about it some this week, and we talked about it before the season started. But who would have thought that before we got out of the month of September, that ticket had already cashed the other way? I was looking for Liberty 9.5 wins to get better odds. And we also talked about you got to survive the month of September.
Yeah.
When I was saying that, I still wasn't thinking 1-4 was in the realm.
You said at one point 1-4 could be the absolute worst we could go. Like you said, there was a world where we could go that. And I said, there's absolutely no chance. What are you talking about? And
I honestly didn't see it. Like if you would have told me we were 3-2 at the end of September, I could believe that. But that's why we said that Bowling Green game was so important. And, the other thing is, as we get into our next segment here, talking about around the conference, have you looked at what Jacksonville State and Bowling Green has done since they beat us?
Yeah, good.
Like when we got beat by Jack State, I was like, okay, that's probably the top team in Conference USA.
No,
they're not.
No. All right. Great segue, John. Conference USA. Big
cut you off there a little bit, Richie. Sorry about that.
No, I need to make a note of what has an intro and what doesn't have an intro, just for my own personal notes. But yeah, around the conference, La Tech keeps on rolling. It's crazy to see. I didn't expect it. But yeah, big week for them. Couple close games, couple in-betweens, but Western Kentucky finding their groove. Missouri State, decent. I think they've exceeded expectations so far. Few teams with a bye. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, Jacksonville State, tough showing against Southern Miss.
Yeah, they got beat 42-25 just to Southern Miss. Didn't look good at all. La Tech 30-11 over UTEP. And I tell you what, that La Tech defense certainly appears to be really good. I mean, they held was it LSU to 27 points. Everybody they've played, they played them really well. And it seems like their offense is finally starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. They're, in my opinion, the team to beat in Conference USA. I think they've kind of shown that so far. Western Kentucky took care of Missouri State 27-22. That was a really close game. It was back and forth there some in the third quarter before Western Kentucky took over. And Kennesaw is another one. They beat Middle Tennessee, I think, 24-16. Yeah. They're obviously much better than they were last year. Mm-hmm. They've won a couple games. They hung with Wake Forest in week 1. So the bottom of the conference, which maybe we're in the bottom of the conference, I don't know, seems to be better than it has been in recent years.
Yeah, that feels fair. I would say the other thing that we can see with Kennesaw, it's something that nobody expected. That everybody, I feel like for the most part, expected them to be worse than they were last year because of the coaching change, because of the way the players that left because of the coaching change and everything like that. And I think ultimately it shows that hey, no matter what you think is going to be the case with programs and stuff like that, in this day and age, so much can change from one season to the next. So even if you have an absolutely terrible team with almost no funding, you can turn it around very quickly. We'll still have to see what happens for the rest of their season, but still 3-2 right now, 1-0 in conference. That's already probably better than anybody expected for them. So it definitely does seem like overall Louisiana Tech and Western Kentucky are probably the top of the conference. Delaware looks pretty good as well, but they're not eligible, I'm assuming, for the conference championship. But yeah, that was my one thought. So John.
Yeah. And kind of perfect point there. Western Kentucky's at Delaware. What is that? Friday night. So that's a game. If you don't have anything going on, if you're not a PA at a high school football game, you can go and watch that game Friday night. I don't know if you've got a game this week or not, Richie.
I don't. Yeah. Just to prove a point, I'm going to go to Delaware. I'm going to go to the game. You want to watch this? I'll go to Delaware.
But no, that's a game to watch. And then Sam Houston at New Mexico State. Speaking of the bottom of the conference, I think those two teams are down there. Then
I don't think we're
FIU at UConn. What's that?
I don't think we're in that territory.
We're going to find out.
We'll find out.
Find out. I don't think we're Sam Houston bad.
I don't think we are. We don't play Sam Houston this year,
which is a shame.
Kind of wish we did.
I think we said this the other week that Sam Houston, I feel like, is the one team that it's like, even though we're not playing them, feel like we're better than them. Anyone else, I have no clue.
We'll find out.
I guess something is good is happening with the Yankees, but yeah, we'll find
2
out.
2 on, no outs, bottom of the ninth, down 2. This is going to lead to a Mike Stanton double play. And I may say something inappropriate. I hope Dr. Towns isn't watching.
Love Dr. Towns.
The mute button ready.
Yeah, you should have me on a delay. Yeah, it's surprising for the conference. It's, again, I've said it before, and I feel like I say the words. I know it's cliche like 7 times a show, but it is a new season. It's an opportunity to say, hey, we're in peak conference play right now where we have all the conference matchups coming up, and it's an opportunity for us to maybe turn it around. CTR, do you believe in miracles? Maybe. Yeah. UTEP.
Yeah, I mean, UTEP's our next game, and it is a bye week technically, but the game's next Wednesday, so you kind of can almost treat it like a normal week. But I mean, this is a game. I think CT, we had one of the fan comments, questions or whatever about how important is this game to the season, and I was going to point it out regardless of if somebody had it or not. It's huge. Right? Like, this is a huge game. Like, I feel like you're 1-4. You've lost 4 straight. You're going to play a UTEP team, which is trying to figure themselves out too.
Yeah.
They're also 1-4. Their only wins over an FCS team. They're coming off a first loss in Conference USA in their Conference USA opener at home. They've lost 2 in a row at home. Prior to La Tech, they lost to Louisiana Monroe. So the Louisiana schools have come in and kind of owned El Paso here the last couple of weeks. But, I mean, if you're Liberty, again, I said this against Bowling Green. I hate to use this phrase, but, I mean, it's a must win.
Well, maybe it's a can't lose. Maybe we look at it the other way. Can't lose.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Like, you have to win this game because the way I think about it, like, if you win this game, like, what could happen? Like, you then got 3 games at home in a row.
Yeah.
And they're separated out, so you got some time to heal up and get ready, get rested, and you could string together some wins, build some positive momentum, and get back into range of becoming bowl eligible. Maybe, not saying that we're going to do this, but maybe you can also have a chance to stay alive in the Conference USA race deep into October, but you have to win Saturday. Whereas on the flip side, if you lose this game, like, you're 1-5, you've now lost 5 straight, you're 0-2 in conference, like, your chances of competing in Conference USA are gone. Like, what do you have left to play for? Like, I feel like if you lose, like, everything could spiral out of control, and who knows how many wins we end up with.
Yeah, we've constantly said, not constantly, but there's been that, hey, if September goes to HE double hockey sticks, we still have in the back pocket, it's a long shot, but playing for a Conference USA championship. If that's gone, like you said, I don't know. I can't remember the last time there's been a Liberty football season that was just kind of shot in early October, whether it was trying to win the Big South, trying to get bowl eligible, playing for a Conference USA championship. Like, there's always been meaningful football played in November. So I agree. It's
tough.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that this is something where I don't even know what else to say that y'all haven't said, but, like, it's something that this really is the season, is how I'm putting it. Not in terms of can't lose, must win. Just like, this is the season, like, for all the points that were just said. So if we lose this game, this is just my personal opinion here. Like, if we lose this game, like, for like a Brylan, like, why are you risking your body more for the rest of the season? Like, and so we could go down the list for other guys, like, in terms of just, like, thinking about, hey, could I redshirt because I haven't played in a couple games and I'm under 4 so far still? Like, there's just so many different things that go on. And like, we joined a conference to compete for conference championships. So
at the least.
Yes, at the least. So if that's gone in a season and we can barely make a bowl game and we have absolutely no momentum and like our schedule is terrible, which, again, like just that is how it is because of being in the conference. But like the pro of that was competing for conference championships. So again, if that's gone, like what is there to play for? So it really feels like this is the season. Now, the one thing I will say with the conference championship talk is like there are 7 teams already with a loss in the conference. So there's only 5 teams with 0 on the loss column. So like anything still is possible in that regard. But it really feels like it comes down to the UTEP game.
What do you guys, I'd like to get your opinion on like this game. Like, I mean, going into it, do you feel like we're going to win? Like we should win? Like we will win? Or like, what do you think?
I honestly, I have no clue is my gut feeling. Just like kind of throw my hands up in there. Like we'll see what happens. I think I believe in miracles in this situation. I want to see, I would hope Vasco's back, I think, which is another conversation that we can get into later. I hope Vasco's back and I hope that they just the coaching staff puts everything on the table, whether it is taking deep shots, even if we're not sure if the offensive line is going to hold up. Maybe throwing some quick screens. I feel like we haven't seen like a ton of those in the passing game much, which, in theory, that could get the ball out quicker and different things. So I hope they just put everything on the table. I hope they say, I hope they have the mentality yet that this is the season and go out and see what's happened. I feel like we have nothing to lose at this point. So
Yeah, and UTEP's a team in turmoil as well. Malachi Nelson and CT, I want to get your thoughts after I mention this, but he is not a lock to be their starter in a week and a half. Not sure what that's going to look like, but I think he's got 9 or so interceptions. He's had an interesting college football career so far. But CT, tell us a little bit about Malachi Nelson and what I think is a good thing to remember.
Yeah, he first thing to note was he was a 5-star coming out of high school. He was probably top 5, top 10 quarterback at the worst in his class in all the country. He started off was at USC, I think, is where he started. Had some chances there, got beat out. Then he transferred to Boise. We thought he was going to be the starting quarterback there last year. Got beat out as well by Maddox Madsen, and then decided to transfer to UTEP, where everybody is like, oh, wow, this could be the place that Nelson turns it around. Like, he has all this talent, like UTEP, like they're trying to turn a corner and get their program running. And he's looked terrible again this year. I think he has like 11 interceptions. John, I think you know the exact number, but I think
he's got 9. The team has 10.
Okay. Yeah. So he has 9.
Geno Smith numbers.
Exactly. And he got benched the past game for the guy who was the starter before. So on a team that wasn't that good last year. So it does raise, and this triggers other conversations and stuff like that. But I think just the one thing to note, like, again, he was a 5-star. So high school rankings really don't mean that much at the end of the day. I think is the one thing just to say. So sure, he has the talent, but it seems like he really is not able to put it together and hasn't been able to from really day one of college.
He had the talent in high school.
Yeah.
Doesn't always, high school talent doesn't always translate to the next level. College talent doesn't always translate to the next level. But yeah, I mean, UTEP's kind of an interesting case. I thought they would be better. I thought they would be kind of on the upswing with Malachi Nelson, with the second year under their head coach, Scotty Walden. They've had, on paper, good recruiting classes each of the last 2 seasons. Liberty's 2-0 against them. Beat them last year 28-10, I think it was. And then we also beat them in the regular season finale of 2023 to cap off that perfect record at 12-0 out in El Paso in the Sun Bowl. And Some people think that I'm the problem, so I'm not going to El Paso. I'm not going to waste time. So I've been to the first 5 games, so maybe I'm the bad luck charm. So if we win this game, maybe I just sit at home the rest of the season until we lose again.
That would be something. Yeah, no, it's interesting. UTEP going to the Mountain West Conference. Is that next year? Is this their last year in Conference?
Yeah, this is their last year in Conference USA, so they're moving to the new watered down Mountain West after this. And best of luck to them. I'm glad we don't have to make the trip out to El Paso anymore. Still got to go out to Las Cruces, so wouldn't be mad to get rid of that one either. But
you're skipping out on the last trip to El Paso?
I am, yeah. Sorry.
And if it's for the team, if they just win, then you don't need to apologize. But
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Spin Zone is just having a baby at the end of November. I'm not going to need to go to my wife and say, hey, this is a generational bowl game I need to go to this year, the way I did with the Fiesta Bowl. So a little bit less travel. We get to save money, John.
Yeah.
Trying to look for the positives.
Yeah, I'm trying to save money for that bowl trip that's probably not coming.
Hey, but it could. Extra great Christmas then.
Christmas not canceled this year.
Yeah.
Anything left for UTEP? I feel confident. Eventually, right? I might be the definition of insanity, though.
It might be. I like to come back to that question I posed to you guys is, I'm kind of with you, CT. I really don't know. Let's just watch and see what happens. I think we should win the game. I could make a case that we should win, at least 6 of our remaining 7 games. The Louisiana Tech game is the one outlier. I think the rest of the ones you go into it, I think we could win, but I honestly don't know. This team hasn't proven that they will win these games, so why should I think that way? But I could see us getting to 6 or 7 wins this year. I could also see us finishing with 3 or 4. I think the UTEP game, like we kind of already talked about, the UTEP game will tell us a lot.
Yeah, we've seen some flashes. We've seen some positive things, but I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. When is the games? I know it's weekday. What is it? Thursday?
Yeah, it's next Wednesday. I think it's 8:00 on CBS Sports Network. And then we've also, we'll be having a podcast that after the game on Sunday night before we play Tuesday night against New Mexico State back at home. And the team, they're going to travel out the day before, like always, Tuesday, play Wednesday night. They're going to stay out there Wednesday night, which is unusual, and plan on coming back Thursday. So you already lose one day after the game. You really lose a second day now due to travel. So it's going to be a quick turnaround on the back end.
No, it's interesting to hear the timeline piece of it. Sometimes that gets kind of just moved in to get brought to the limelight of the public, definitely. So speaking of the public, we get to hear some of their thoughts. Now, to be honest, we've heard it all. I think.
Yeah.
It would take little to surprise any of us at this point, but always great to hear from the fans. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Let's hear.
We picked the wrong season to start this one, but here we are now. maybe in some ways it's the best season to start it. So
makes it interesting.
Yeah, it really is. Richie,
it might be my favorite part.
Richie, like you said, we have heard most of it, but it's still good just to talk about some of these things. So the first one, John, I'm going to toss this one to you, and it's actually one of the comments that just came in the chat from Dan. So he said, real question, how does this impact Liberty's chances to move to a better conference? I know we've hit on this a little bit in past weeks, but for anybody that might not have heard those or listened, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of had multiple points on this. Is in my opinion, I feel like Liberty, with all the quote unquote baggage that we bring to the table, you've got to far and exceed expectations or whatever hurdles. That's how you can overcome some of those hurdles, some of that baggage. is by going out and putting a product on the field that you can't overlook. And I felt like we had done that for a few years. And, I know Conference USA was kind of, desperate when they added us, but we had won and we're winning in every sport, but obviously football is the most important. Like, how does VCU get into the A-10 back several years ago? Because they were winning in March and making it to March every year. So winning definitely has an impact on it. But one of the other things we talked about previously was kind of like some of the most recent round of realignments. It's been about media markets and some of the other things that you bring to the table. So I think one thing that's going to be a big factor in some of this conference realignment, especially at the G5, G6 level moving forward, is like your resources. Like, what level of revenue sharing are you at? Because there's been rumors, and we'll see how this plays out. But there's been rumors of like there's some Sunbelt teams that can't meet what they kind of are expected to do. There's also some teams in the AAC that aren't able to get the funding to the level they want it to be at. So could there be some shuffling because like Liberty they can fund their programs there. So will that be a factor? So, the other thing is like it's a down year, right? Like let's hope it's a blip and let's hope we're back. And hopefully this down year ends up being 7 or 8 wins. And hopefully it's just a blip and we're back to compete for conference championships and more next season.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, hope it's a blip.
Yeah, hope it's a blip. Exactly. And I think for the most part, the conferences are going to be like, oh, you had one bad season, like you're disqualified. I don't think that's going to happen. So going on injury report, John, do you know anything about the status of Vasco, Dickens, or Green?
Yeah, so Dickens was concussion-like symptoms. I haven't heard if he had a concussion or not. So I would like to think with a week and a half, 10 or 11 days between games, hopefully he'll be back. Especially if it was not a concussion, he will be back. We haven't had any access so far this week. That normally comes on Tuesday, but it's later in the week due to the extended week of prep or bye week or whatever you want to call it. So I'm not exactly sure. But I think Green, I expect him to miss several weeks. I don't know what his injury is, but just from what happened, it does seem like it's not as bad as we were kind of fearing. But I wouldn't expect him to play this week. It's kind of my gut. We'll get more info on that later in the week. Vasco, like there was a lot of, I'm sure you guys saw it too. Like, Coach Chadwell was talking about how much he had progressed, a week ago. There was talk, Thursday and Friday about him possibly even playing, and then he did make the trip and didn't play. So I think it's at least 50-50 in my opinion that Vasco plays. Maybe I would, take the over if you had odds on that. So yeah, I kind of think I'm leaning towards him playing, especially with a few extra days in between. But I really don't know. It's too early to really answer that, and more will come out on that later in the week.
And just for one point of clarification, in your opinion, if he is healthy, do you think he is still the starter?
Yeah, I don't think there's any real question about that. I mean, I think the last game and a half have proven that Vasco's got to be the guy.
Yeah, totally. Going on to one other quarterback question that has continuously come up, and I would say fair reason for people to ask. So, again, for maybe some people that haven't heard this conversation before or anything else, some more thoughts regarding Jaden Bradford. So, one, why did Bradford get no looks on offense when we were clearly lethargic and not getting what we need? And then another question, can anyone answer the question of why the highest ranked quarterback out of high school on the team is the 5th string and is not being tried to see if he can give the offense a spark?
I don't know. I'm not a coach. I haven't seen what's in practice. I think that the coaches have made it clear that they are going to put the best players on the field at this point in the season. And my guess, and I have no inside information, is that they don't think that he's the best guy to play the position right now. And you could say what you want about the coaching staff, whatever. That's That's your opinion, but they want to win games, and they're going to put people in the field that they think is their best chance to win games. Last year was, Caden Williams, he's too good to keep off the field. The year before was Vaughn Blue. This year was I forget his name, the freshman.
Malachi Fanon-Render, is that the one? Jalen Coleman. Which one?
Yeah, so it's like, you know what? If they're at the point now, it's, we've seen Ethan Houck play. We're not in that point where it's like, let's save someone, let's hold on to that. So I hope Jaden Bradford comes in and plays, and I hope he's excellent. I hope he does great at Liberty. I hope any player they recruit does well at Liberty. But no, I'm just judging based off of when I play college football. I put the players who I think are going to best win me said games.
Well, and to add to that, 100% agree with what you said, Richie. But to add to that, like Houck ended up being rated higher than Bradford.
Yeah.
I think Bradford had a little bit more sex appeal, if you want to call it that, because he played at IMG and he had, P4 offers, where Houck kind of blossomed his senior year, and he had already committed to Liberty when normally when you commit to Liberty, your recruit ranking, like we saw with Bradford, starts to drop down because they're like, there's a reason why you're going to Liberty as opposed to South Carolina. But with Houck, it went up. Like he was a highly rated 3-star, and he probably would have gotten some of those P4 offers, but we ended up he committed to us early on and shut down his recruitment. So Houck he is the highest rated quarterback we've ever had out of high school.
Yeah. Moving on a little bit, why does Dante Lee Jr. come in for one play, catches a bomb, and then is basically benched for the rest of the game? He's the deep threat that stretches the field. If we use all possession receivers, the defense plays everyone close to the line of scrimmage. So do you feel like have you noticed the same thing about him? And then do you have thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of – the passing game has been non-existent the last 2 weeks. So it's kind of like, it doesn't matter who's on the field. They're not getting the job done. And it's not necessarily that I'm blaming the receivers. It's hard for us without doing deep dives into film, like how much of this is a receiver's fault, how much of it is on the quarterback, how much is on the offensive line. But I already said it earlier. I was disappointed that we didn't get more deep shots. Dante Lee has taken a huge stride. Like it's being overlooked because of the struggles the team's having, the struggles the offense is having. But he's been a big play guy. It was a JMU game. Like he should have had a touchdown in that game. He got behind his defender and Vasco overthrew him. And, that should have been a touchdown. And he had a touchdown each of the first 3 games. He's been our big play guy. I'd love for us to take more shots to him. He looks like what we were hoping he was going to have last year. That kind of goes into the recruiting thing too, is sometimes it takes these guys a year or 2 or 3 to kind of develop it and mature and grow into being, ready to play at this level. So, I don't know. Dante Lee, like he played the second most snaps. Tyson Mobley did play a lot. My first thought on that was that maybe Mobley was in as more of a better run blocker. I'm sure that's part of it, is like, some of your receivers are better run blockers. And so you'll have them in, and we were obviously expecting to run the ball a lot. And, so that's why Mobley would get more work. But like I said earlier, we have to open the offense up more. You're not going to win games throwing for less than 100 yards. You're just not going to do it.
No, unless you're Iowa.
Yeah, which that's not a fun brand of football to watch either.
No.
Yeah, and there were some comments talking about the play calling, like some frustrations, just like feels like we're run, sometimes throw, and then punt. So I feel like we all do agree that, hey, it really feels like whatever opening it up looks like with our personnel, like that needs to happen this next game. So I'm going to do a lightning round here. We're going to do something fun. So we're going to do a few different statements. I'm going to read the statement, and then going to have you give a score, 1 being strongest of disagreements with that statement, and 10 being you completely agree. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. First one, this staff allows for seniority to take precedence over actual talent.
4.
3.
Okay. 2 of our offensive line is starting at Vanderbilt because Shadwell doesn't want to pay players.
I mean, Vanderbilt's budget is, I don't know, triple, quadruple what ours is.
It's hard for me to give a rating to that because it's like, I don't know, I'm around the 3 to 4 range. Like, yes, we do have 2 offensive linemen that are starting / fringe starters on the offensive line of Vanderbilt. No, it's not because Chadwell doesn't want to pay players. But like Richie's saying, they have a significant – they play in the SEC. They have a significant if they're paying $20 million in revenue share in athletics, I mean, they're 4 to 5 times what we're doing. So, like, we can't compete with that. It's not because we don't want to pay players.
And this may sound crazy, but if it's SEC football and Conference USA football, even if Coach Chadwell was like, all right, we'll match whatever Vanderbilt gives you. Have you been to Nashville? Have you played, like, you get to go play SEC football? What, like, even if they pay you nothing, and I wouldn't even be mad if someone would left. Like,
fair.
If people just try to take a shot at Chadwell at any opportunity they can. Did people leave to go to Vanderbilt? Yeah, they did. They also left to go to Cal and Colorado and other big name schools. And that's just the way college football is right now. It has nothing to do with the amount of money that they are getting paid. It's a piece of it. But no, I don't think the money was the reason they went to go to Nashville, to go to Vanderbilt, one of the most prestigious academic public schools in the country.
I think it's a private school, but
private school. It doesn't matter. It's one of the most prestigious schools in the country.
I should have known that we wouldn't have been able to keep it just to the scores. But let's get back to it. 2 more of these. It feels as if the coaching staff has given up on the players.
1.
2.
Okay. Last one. The players aren't getting the proper rest or treatment their bodies need. Injuries will continue to plague the team.
4. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to give a fair grade to that. I'm not in the training room, and I really don't know.
Yeah, it's like asking me if the food they serve at the operations center. I don't know. You people think I'm in there? You think I have like a chart in my room? I'm like Charlie Day and Sunny is always in Philadelphia,
at
like
the same point,
dots. No, I don't know.
But at the same point, like these guys, like these people, that's their jobs. Like you would think they know what to do, and that this isn't the first place they've had these jobs either. So
yeah,
not to say they can't make mistakes and need to make some changes and some tweaks. Like possibly, like sure. Now our injuries are high. Like our injury list is long and extensive, and it's key players too. And it seems like it's been that way last year too. So I don't know if there's something to that. There could be. But again, it's hard to really answer some of that stuff.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. Maybe you should ask the guy that was on here an hour ago who was the athletic trainer. I don't know. Don't tweet us, tweet him.
John, I think you need to do some investigative journalism. I think you need to unlock that cat. No.
Because that's our number one problem we have right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna hit on a couple more just general questions, and I know we want to keep it tight. We went over a lot last week, but just a couple more now. Back to the normal question and answer. We all can acknowledge there's offensive line issues. How do you think the staff can fix those, or like what do you think they can do, if anything, to fix those this season?
Well, it's a big position where you can definitely see growth year 2. I think college football, so many people look at it as win now. If you don't succeed in year 1, gone on to the next person. But it is, especially a position like that, it is tough to come in and kind of have that continuity when you have new players in there. So I think a balance of who are the guys that we think can take a step forward and opening up that checkbook, baby. Who are the guys from Vandy that might want to come here? And see but I think give it a chance, like I said. And it's a position we've seen at Liberty that has kind of gone like this over the years. So I think, a mix of giving it time, seeing, can the right guys stay and make that step while bringing in people that can help improve.
I hate to be pessimistic, but I kind of feel like, what can we do? Like we haven't shown much, if any, progress in 5 games.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, do we really? I mean, maybe this is just who we are. Maybe this is just the offensive line we have. Like, I mean, there's teams in the NFL that have just atrocious offensive lines. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, Joe Burrow hasn't stayed healthy his entire career because he doesn't have an offensive line that can keep him upright. Like, sometimes you just have poor offensive lines. It was a few years ago we had a bad offensive line. Was that like 2021 maybe? 22?
It was Malik's last year.
Yeah.
We had terrible offensive line, and then we addressed it and got better, and we tried to address it this year, and obviously, I mean, we got a lot of guys. I have to go back and look. A lot of guys through the portal and JUCO guys that just don't even see the field, and we've obviously missed on some players there. So, I just think maybe we just don't have a good offensive line this year, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, no. That's the boat I'm in if we're talking about it in the moment. Yeah.
Hopefully it's a very big focus in the off season, and then that can be, an improvement in terms of the talent over the next season. And then maybe, we went from a terrible offensive line, Malik's last year, to next year after that, I think is when we won like the Arkansas game and a couple games like that. And then the year after that, we go to the Fiesta Bowl. So like there can be progress in terms of that. And we all know the trenches are super important. So that was a clear reason that we were able to win some of those games. The quarterbacks had time, the running game had time and stuff like that. So hopefully it's something that we see improvement in future years.
And likewise, our defensive line has kind of gone the bad way too. Like 2022, I think it was, we led the nation in TFLs. A lot of that was Darrell Johnson was just a freak. But we led the nation in TFLs, and now we're towards the bottom of the nation in TFLs and sacks.
Kind of on that note, if we were to lose the UTEP game, do we see Chadwell emptying the benches and spending the remainder of the season evaluating personnel?
I mean, he should be evaluating personnel now. He should have been doing it all season. I'm sure he has been, and the staff has been. But the game's different. Like, 10 years ago, yes, you would say, well, let's give the freshman quarterback the reins because the senior's not getting the job done. Well, the freshman quarterback is going to go into the portal just as quickly as the senior is going to graduate. So I'm not sure, letting the younger guys play is kind of that mindset. Like, you don't need to do that now. Like, you just play whoever you think is the best and who's going to give you the best chance. And at that point in time, like, if you start losing games, like you talked about earlier, CT, is like some of these guys may just say, hey, I'm done. Like, I'm sitting out and I'm going to the portal and moving on. So you might not have a choice of who you play. You just play who's available and who's wanting to play.
Yeah, stinks, but it's the way it is right now.
Two last ones. Obviously, we know there's people out there that are like fire everyone, stuff like that. We've talked about that some, and I feel like that was a conversation we don't need to keep on having. I felt like we had a pretty good extensive one last week. But one thing that I just thought was interesting in the comments in the midst of that was somebody said, I want to avoid firing the coach at all costs. He fits Liberty's mission perfectly. I know the fan base wants blood, but I want to explore every option before we get to that. I don't know if any thoughts just off the back of that, but I just thought that one was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy just to say, we're losing, let's go fire everyone. Like, it's easy to say that when you're, sitting on this side of things and not meeting with the people and know the people and, how many people it affects and all that sort of stuff. But we talked about it already. Like, I think, Chadwell has gotten it done. He's had success everywhere he's been. And, we're in a downward spiral. We have been for 2 years now. I mean, you can't explain it any other way. 13-1 to 8-4 to, even if we went out, we're 8-4, so it's 3 straight years you're regressing and it's obvious. So things need to change. I don't think that we're to the point where that means the head coach needs to change. We already talked about this in detail last week. And if you want to hear it again or go back and listen to it the first time, it was this time, late in the podcast, we were talking about it. So spend about 10 or 15 minutes on it. So it's good to go back and do that if you're interested. But, as at this moment, my thoughts haven't changed. I expected to lose last week to Old Dominion. Kind of went how I expected to do. I thought we
14-point underdogs.
And we did. And so it kind of fit what happened. So, We'll see.
Yeah, totally. Last one, and I feel like it just kind of rounds it up. And it's a negative note, but that's just where we are right now. So part of the frustration, this person said, part of my frustration with the coaches, hey, just say that we're not good. Say that it's not acceptable. Say that we need to be better, and then ask the fans to hang in there because you'll fix it. So it sounds like there's some frustration just in terms of the coaching staff saying, oh, we almost had it. We're close in the fourth quarter, a different thing. So what are our thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like, yeah. I agree. Like, and when you're losing, people pay more attention to everything you say. And, there have been times I've been sitting in press conferences and it's like, I wish you wouldn't say that. I wish you'd say this or something. But it's who Chadwell is. And he honestly hasn't faced a lot of losing seasons in his career. So it's new to him too. So, I don't know. I'm sure we could all, have things we wish he would do and wish he would say. I'm sure he's trying to figure out the right things to say and the right things to say internally and externally, and trying to find the right buttons to push. I mean, it's a new game. Like, the football has changed so much even in the last 3 years since he's been here. From the transfer portal has changed even more. NIL's changed more. You got the internal revenue sharing. It just is nonstop change, and he has to adjust and adapt to these things and learn how to manage them. I think that was one of the things he, just from, hearing what he said and reading the tea leaves, I think he felt like he kind of mismanaged the roster a little bit for 2024, and he was trying to make those changes going into this year, going into 100% in, all hands, all cards in, all in on culture, right? And from everything I've heard and hear people talk about, like the guys are saying all the right things. They still seem upbeat and bought in and connected, but obviously that hasn't paid off to this point in time. So, and guys like him too, like he's a big culture guy. Like, typically you can build that thing. And when you're on year 3, you have that first recruiting class. Like TJ Bush was part of his first recruiting class. Like him in that class, like they would now be your third year in the program and your leaders. Mm-hmm. So those guys are gone because of portal. You're not able to have that same nucleus kind of build and grow and learn together. So you're remaking a team every year, and you have to figure out how to do it. Lane Kiffin's figured out how to do it at Ole Miss, right? So coaches can figure out how to do it, and we criticize Coach McKay because he didn't use the transfer portal. He made changes and tweaks, and it worked out for him last year. And that's what these coaches have to do at this level. They have to make changes and tweaks.
Got to adapt,
and you got to adapt all the time. You have to change, or you're going to die. So,
yeah. Hopefully not that extreme, but I get it. Anything else, CT? Thanks for breaking that down for us. I try to avoid reading what the comments are, so I don't know what we're going to get when we talk about it on here. But as always, we're so grateful for everyone participating, making comments on Twitter, interacting, tuning in, whether you're on Spotify, YouTube, whatever that looks like. Make sure you like and subscribe. I can't say enough about all the amazing content that John posts on YouTube. Post-game interviews right away, pre-game interviews during the week. We got basketball coming up, basketball interviews, all that stuff that you see of Red YouTube page is the place to be for everything live and all that stuff.
I will say that going over to basketball, maybe I shouldn't say this publicly, but I already started. So I went the same day last week that we had. In the morning there was press conferences for football, and then in the afternoon it was basketball, and it was just like a breath of fresh air at Liberty Arena. Like it just, like you could relax and just enjoy the success of last year's championship, and it was different.
Yeah,
sharing an arena with volleyball doesn't hurt either. So
wagons, and hey, we also got 2 years ago it was flipped, where football was king of the campus and basketball was looking to turn things around. So this is not a knock at football. This is just the way it is right now in the moment, and things can absolutely change. So
I mean, it's depressing. Let's just be honest. Like
Yeah.
Nobody likes losing. Like, I don't like coming on this podcast every week and like, how do I break down this loss? Like, I don't know. Like, it's the same thing, just a different week. And nobody wants to talk about losses. I don't want to talk about losses. Like, it's not fun.
Yeah.
No, not in the slightest. But as always, we're grateful you took the time to enjoy this podcast, whether you are a hater, you're enjoying, you're puffing your chest like I was right the whole time. Appreciate it. It's a lot of season ahead, and we will absolutely see you back the Sunday night after the UTEP game. Go Flames.